Hi guys, welcome back to Hair Dry Treatment. Soph and Meg are back. Sorry about yesterday, guys. Obviously, it was Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to Meg for yesterday. And yeah, we were celebrating Mother's Day, obviously, with our family. So apologies that we weren't live yesterday. But we thought we'd give you a little Monday show and do a little recap, and also tie that in with a little preview for the game, obviously, in the week against AC Milan. A massive game, by the way. But Meg, firstly, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
No problem. Again, like I said, happy Mother's Day to everyone for yesterday, and I hope people have been able to spend time with their mums. I know it's a difficult time too, and lockdown rules, but if you did have the opportunity to go and see your mum, I hope you appreciated it. Because I certainly did. I appreciate my mum. But yeah, and a nice little win to round the whole weekend up. Because I know you were saying, Soph, about these like late Sunday kickoffs. I mean, it could be worse because it could have been Monday evening. But when you kick off on a Sunday, don't have to drag the weekend through, does it?
It's torture. It's torture. Like it's one of them, isn't it? Like if you have the early kickoff on a Saturday and say you lose, for me it ruins your whole weekend. Like you just feel so annoyed all weekend. Like I avoid most football if we lose on a Saturday morning. But on a Sunday night, you're seeing other teams do stuff before you. And it's just like agonising having to wait. It feels like you're waiting forever for that game, especially like 7:15 kickoff as well. It's so frustrating. And of course, like you're excited and stuff like that as well. But I don't know about you, Meg, but I just feel tense, especially like West Ham, for example. A game when we felt we could possibly drop points. A game that we always said has been a bit of a bogey team in the past. A game where we haven't been great last few weeks. West Ham are obviously in decent form. We knew that Lingard wouldn't be playing, but I'm going to start with this point, Meg. I expected a lot more from West Ham going forwards. We didn't really see a glimpse of them yesterday.
Yes, I mean, Ryan really expected them to take the game to us.
Yeah.
They set up very defensively. I mean, from the offset. I mean, watching the preview to it, and they said to Ollie about, how do you think West Ham are going to set up? And he was just like, it could be a 5 at the back, could be 4 at the back, could be the numerous midfield players that they've got. I did think that they would bring a little bit more. I mean, at half time, they hadn't even had an attempt, let alone an attempt on target. It was a very slow game from them. But they put players behind the ball. There was times when we were attacking and there was literally, they'd got every single player behind the ball. There was limited amount of space, difficult to break down. And I think I've seen Scott McTominay's post-match interview as well, saying, the message at half-time is to be patient and to keep moving the ball.
Yeah.
God, but as a fan and watching it, you want it to speed up a little bit. You want to see goals, but It was just West Ham came to defend and they wanted to try and catch us on the counter, or they wanted to try and nick one off a corner. So defensively, we must have been switched on, and we did stay switched on. But yeah, it was a long game. I mean, it's not. I know it was 90 minutes, but it felt like 90 hours.
Yeah, I agree. James said West Ham, I thought, were way too defensive last night. That's Moyes' biggest problem against the big 6 away from home. Totally agree. I mean, you have to fancy Antonio running up against the likes of Maguire and Lindelof. Like, he's going to cause problems. But yesterday, we did defend really well, and you have to give the defence credit, of course. I mean, Luke Shaw was given man in the match. I think he was superb again yesterday. But at the same time, I just don't think they were really tested. And that's not me knocking the defence. Obviously, you can only deal with what's in front of you. And they dealt with that superbly well. But my point is, West Ham, for me, like, they must feel, especially the West Ham fans today, they must feel that was a missed opportunity yesterday. Loving the rude.
We were talking about this before the stream. That's why I put that on there. I just think for West Ham, perhaps, and for Moyes, he's gone into the situation a little bit. For both teams, it was a very, very big game to secure points. Both teams needed the points rather than a performance, like we've been saying. But and I think perhaps for that reason, West Ham didn't want to risk it too much. I feel like sometimes the likes of Man City, the likes of United, I'm not saying that West Ham aren't a big team. They've done really well to be where they are this season. Yeah. But I don't feel like they can really risk games too much, because I also feel for West Ham especially, and for Villa, kind of, they're excelling. They're doing better than expected this season. And I feel like if they hit a dip in form, that could tumble very quickly and escalate into a downward spiral for them. Whereas I think for us, we could risk it a little bit more going forward. So I think for West Ham, they set up defensively and they wanted to just kind of nick a goal off a set piece, off a corner, or on the counter.
Yeah, definitely. Nippon, just let you know, I have got the Wolves game on the background. So if you see me keep glancing to the right, that's what I am looking at. I'm looking at the Wolves game. So if there's any score, I'll obviously let you guys know as well. But at the minute, it's 0-0. It's only just started. Someone's mentioned about Greenwood in the chat, and we were mentioning just off camera. We've said it the other day, through the middle, looked so much more confident. Unlucky yesterday, he hit the post twice, but I loved how direct he was. For me, I think he had a great game. It was literally trouble from start to finish, hungry to get on the ball, like I say, direct running, usually so clinical in front of goal. But at the minute, that's all he's missing, isn't it? I think he's playing well. He's just lacking that final finish, that cutting edge at the end of it. But I'm pretty sure, Meg, he'll score sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he played really well yesterday. He looked like he was confident. He was picking up the ball, like I said, running at players, creating opportunities. He created a couple of good openings in the first half, especially. Looked like he was really interested in the game as well. I do, like I said previously, that him Greenwood and Cavani partnership, that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Cavani being injured, I can't wait to see them two combine again, because I actually think they bounce off each other really well for somebody that's really experienced, and for Greenwood, who's so young and inexperienced still. It's that balance of those two players together.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to Keith. Says you're both looking beautiful. At least we've got 3 points. Love the Rooney top. So thank you for that. I completely agree. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter yesterday ranting, one, because there's rumours of Ollie getting a new deal, and two, because of the manner of the fact that we won yesterday. Yes, Meg, there was people moaning at the fact that we won. Look, I get it. It wasn't the most glamorous, but I genuinely don't think we played as bad as what people were making out. I think Greenwood hit the post twice. There was a few chances where we could have done better on the counter attack. I remember one in particular, Dan James running. I think we had 4-on-2 and his pass was behind Bruno. We should have done better there. West Ham were not an easy team. We said we were nervous going into this because it could be a banana. It could be one when we drop points. We've come out of it with a win. We fought for the win. The result for me, Meg, was more important, especially with the run of games that we've got. Obviously, we've had a lot of games in quick succession, and they've been tough games as well. I don't know about you, but for me, it was more about the result yesterday than the performance.
Yeah, like I say, this kind of business end of the season's hit already because of it being so tight. I think the 3 points yesterday, I mean, a lot of people were saying that's kind of top four wrapped up, really. It's still a long way to go. We've still got a lot of games. We're still in 3 competitions. So we've got to really balance as players in terms of the squad, rotation, and we're carrying injuries as well. So it's very, very cliche, isn't it, to say, but you've got to take these games one game at a time. And in those games, you've got to take it just 90 minutes, like get by, just try and pick up the goals when you can, and make sure you're defending well. It's not easy. It's not easy to defend. It's very, I think people think defending is really like the simpler job of the two, defending or attacking. Defending is easy. It's really difficult when you're playing against talented players. You've got to be able to do the basics right. And I think yesterday, the whole of the defence did really well.
I agree. Luke Shaw, obviously man of the match yet again. He's having a wonderful season. So positive then at left-hand side. Our left-hand side is our biggest threat, isn't it? Let's be honest. And Lingard looks sad. Did you still look at Lingard hugging? I don't even know when he's hugging Bruno and Grant. And it was sad to see that. I was happy to see it. It was nice to see. Like, it was heartwarming. But it was sad, like thinking Jesse should be in our squad tonight, shouldn't he?
I think Ali's come out and said that he wasn't going to play because he's not going to get in over Bruno, and I think it's just a telling sign. Last night, all the players going up to him, that he was obviously I remember in that changing room that was well respected by a lot of the players that obviously got on with them, and I just think for him personally, he's done so well at West Ham already. Unbelievable start to his loan spell there. I do believe that will become permanent, and fair play to him, because I think he had a really, really successful career at Manchester United, and it's kind of tailing off a little bit towards the end now, and I think this is the right time for him. He's still got plenty of time left in his career, but yeah, he was one of my favourites. I just genuinely liked the boy, the man. He's not a boy, is he, anymore? I mean, a lot of people still claim that he's like 22. But I'm just glad that he's enjoying football.
I completely agree. I think every United fan loves Lingard. Does every United fan think he should be starting? Of course not, and I'm not sitting here saying that. I'm just saying it was nice to see him back at Old Trafford because, like I say, he's such a likeable character. He's obviously United through and through. But I agree with you. I think that West Ham move will probably become permanent, if not West Ham, somewhere else. I think Lingard will, like you say, he's enjoying his football again. He'll want to play permanent football. So I think a move will be on the cards for him. Ian is spot on. Obviously, we had De Gea, Pogba, Martial, Cavani, Donny, Rashford isn't fully fit. Seeing all these players out, that's what I mean. Yesterday, for me, it was more about the actual result than the performance. We didn't drop points. We kept a clean sheet. We won. We move on. And I said that in my tweet. I literally kept it simple. 3 points, we move. Because that's really what it boiled down to yesterday for me. And Meg, going into that game, obviously, against Milan, there's rumours that there's a lot of players who are going to be fit. Obviously, Martial, Cavani. I'm not sure if Pogba's going to be 100%. But these players coming back, are you confident going into that? I think that's the first question I'll ask you. Because the first leg was a bit of a sticky one, wasn't it? We didn't play well. We were lucky not to lose. Then we went 1-0 up, and then we conceded so late on. It feels like a loss, doesn't it? So, are you confident going into that one?
It's a huge game. I'm not going to say like, I'm 100% confident that we're going to come out of that as with the win and go through to the next round. I just hope that, like you said, with these players coming back in, that boosts the squad in terms of. Not only does it allow more numbers, I think someone's already mentioned about the bench yesterday. The likelihood that if these players come back, you'll see that the talent that's sat on the bench again because we're going to have to rotate. I'm not 100% confident going into it. It's because it's such a big game. Our away form says that we should do okay. Yeah. But it's it's a 90-minute game. Winner takes everything now, isn't it? So. We've got to go out there and score. That's our issue. We have to go and score because they've got the away goal. So I don't want us to kind of sit there defensively. Yeah. I want us to showcase that we know we've got to score and therefore let's go out and do it. Let's not just sit back and try and catch them on the counter-attack. Can we go and create a goal that we desperately need?
I can see us scoring against AC Milan. I genuinely can. I think it's more the other end for me. Can we keep them out? But like you say, we've got to go there with an attitude where we know we need to score. We've got to be positive in our play. We've got to start quickly, in my opinion. But we should be taking confidence. Someone said, just is it 4 or 5 clean sheets now in the bench for us? Like, we should take confidence from that as well. Obviously, like I've already mentioned before, it's all good us keeping these clean sheets, but we need to not sacrifice going the other way. We can't afford to do that against AC Milan. We've got to have, obviously, an end product to our play. And I think it's going to be a tough game, but I genuinely feel like we are good enough to do it. Hopefully there's a game plan in place for Thursday. Definitely, then we need to obviously be tactically up for it. AC Milan, I think we saw in the first leg, even though they had their injuries, are a very good side. One of the better AC Milan sides of recent times, definitely. Whilst the 2 cup games in the same week, we cannot afford to go out to both of them. Obviously, we've got Leicester at the weekend as well, Meg. We've mentioned, haven't we? Like, for us, a trophy is crucial this season. It's really important.
Definitely, like I said, these 2 games in a week, these 2 cup competitions, by the end of this week, we'll kind of know how our season's going to pan out. Are we going to sit here and say, if we're out of these 2 cup competitions by the end of this week, it's not going to go down very well at all, because not that the season is over, but you look at kind of where we were last season and where we finished, the semi-finals, we never made the finals, and the league, we kind of, we left it very late to get into the top 4. By the end of this week, we need to make sure we're still in those 2 competitions for sure. How he balances it and how he manages it, beyond me, because like I said, with the injuries that we've got, we're hoping that players are going to come back. But the defensive part of Manchester United, we need to continue with what we're doing, and we need to make sure that we go out there to Milan with this game plan of, for me, going to attack. We're not going to go out there and sit back or park the bus. We have to score. We have to go with that mentality of, you're going to have to go and attack and create opportunities. Yeah, definitely.
Hello to Bits and Bobs. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. Great content over there. We won, but it's a tough watch. I completely agree. We won. For me, it was always about the result more so than the performance yesterday. And we did it. Cantona7 says, FA Cup over Europa. Well, let's go for both. Do you agree with that, Meg? FA Cup over Europa, obviously now with the fact that we've found a cemented top 4 for Champions League next season?
I saw someone put about this on Twitter actually earlier. but there was an argument that the Europa League carries you into pot 1 for the Champions League next year, and the FA Cup doesn't. I don't know if that's true, but if you had to win one, so which one would you go for? And that goes to everyone. If you had to win one, if you had to prioritise which one you'd go for.
Both. That's my answer. Both. I think a trophy is just crucial for us this season. I really do. I think that semi-final juju last season, obviously, we just seem to get to semi-finals and just fall at that hurdle. For me, it's a big mentality booster. Like, we need to experience winning trophies again, and it seems so long since we've done that, especially with the new cohort of players and Ollie being manager as well. Like, I think a trophy would do wonders. I mean, imagine if we ended up second in a trophy this season, like, and people are arguing about Ollie getting a new contract, but you can't argue with that. Second in a trophy, like, he's done a wonderful job, in my opinion.
From where we have been in past seasons and to where he is now, and I'm still going to say with this squad that he's got, because I still feel like, yes, okay, he spent money, but I also feel like he probably hasn't recruited in the positions that he still wants to recruit for. It's very obvious that yesterday he was talking about, centre backs have always been the issue, and we were on, we were scarce with the players that we've got to play up front yesterday. So we're also going to be looking in the market for a striker as well. So
yeah,
for Ollie, I think he's done really well to now, and I do think if he does get backed and he does bring in players in the positions that he wants to bolster, then that's when we judge him and say, has he done well enough? So very off topic for Manchester United, but on topic to our football. Ryan put about, yes, our season's finished today. They've not called it a null and void because this is what it's like in women's football. So basically now there are ways that you can advance up the league, and the FA are going to look at teams basically bidding to move up the leagues if they can prove that they can compete in a higher league than they are now. So it's very interesting. I'm gutted that the season's kind of finished, but as a squad we've already been speaking, and we will be back into training and back playing football in some form throughout the summer. I'm just gutted that it's kind of finished in this way again for the second season.
It wasn't that long ago that they were talking about tossing a coin as well to see who wins the league and who wins the cup, things like that, wasn't it, in the women's game? So I'm not surprised. I'm genuinely not surprised. It's gutting, like you say. The move-up scheme that they're talking about, I think in certain lower leagues, the likes of Kiddie, for example, Staybridge, where I know they're paying players to play and stuff like that. Like, I think maybe teams like that would be great for. But I agree, like, how is that a fair way of doing, like, teams with more money, more success? It's just frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating, but like you say, it's the women's game, and unfortunately that's the way it's handled at that level at the minute, isn't it? It's just disappointing. But Meg, I'm sure you'll be back on the pitch sooner rather than later. Cannot wait. I literally put my boots on for the first time yesterday. Went out for a kicker bet. No, yesterday or Saturday? Yesterday. It was Saturday. Yeah, Mother's Day. I'm still aching now. Can't lie. It's been so long. I loved it. I just went for a kickabout, crossbar challenge, the usual stuff. Trying my Bruno penalties out as well. Had a great time. But I have missed football, and it is gutting. Hello to Acid in the chat. It said, hi, Soph and Meg, ladies in pink. Pink, yellow, orange, a bit of everything going on here.
Soph in the rainbow.
Quarters on Mason getting a call to the under-21s. We were going to touch on this, actually. Meg, under-21s, I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. Are you? It was yesterday. It was Sunday. I don't know yesterday. But Greenwood, obviously, I think like Jude Bellingham haven't been involved in that squad, so they presume he's going to be in the first team. Are you shocked that he's in the under-21s? I genuinely felt like right now that's probably where he should be. But then you look at the likes of Saka, again, in with the first team.
Yeah, I think Saka's kind of a bright spark in a bit of a poor Arsenal team at the moment, though. So I think he's flourishing in that team because he has to flourish in the Arsenal team right now. Whereas Greenwood, I think he's around bigger and better talent, and therefore I don't think he's struggled in terms of, you look at yesterday and his work rate and his ethic is still second to none. But I do think that he obviously hasn't burst into this season like he did last season, and therefore it shows a little bit. For him, though, I think going out with the England U21 teams, I just hope that it kind of boosts his confidence and kind of gets a little bit of form. Doesn't, not to become that star again, but to just kind of showcase where he was last season and bring that back again.
Definitely. Thank you to Naj, says, love your show, Soph and Meg from Nigeria. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Curtis asked me to do another Keep You Up video. You know what? Once lockdown is over, me and Meg said that we're going to meet up and do some content. I used to do, obviously, my debate and dribbles where I'd replicate stuff that happened. So, for example, I remember Sterling kicking the ground and dropping to the floor and getting a penalty. I replicated that. Pogba's slow run up for the penalty. I'd usually just repeat events throughout the week regarding football, and I think it'd be great if me and Meg could actually do some content with a football. I've also got a win ball from Liv Cook that she sent for me to do some content with that I haven't used it. I've been saving it for after lockdown so we can actually get some content out. So yes, Meg, if you're up for that, I think it'd be cool for people to see some of our techniques. Meg,
I'm not sure as a centre half I've got much techers to showcase, but if you want to talk about tackling or heading, then I'm your girl.
We'll whip some crosses in, definitely. Hello from sunny Yorkshire. I'm glad it's sunny in Yorkshire. It's not been very sunny in Wolverhampton, definitely. Guys, let us know where you're watching from as well. Me and Meg always like to have a little bit of a nose to see where you guys are from. I find it really intriguing. So if you're a massive build for you can replicate Fred's shooting. Yeah, on his right foot as well. You know what, though? Saying that, against Chelsea, I remember we were messaging, and I said that if Fred scores a right-footed shot from outside the box, I will lose it. He came close, Meg. He came close.
So close. I watched it and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to message him. I knew he was live, but I was like, I wonder how she's reacted to that, because he's getting there. He's got to score one by the end of the season. He's got to. Yeah,
this is going to happen. I think Meg should try and replicate, I don't know, a skill, and I'll replicate Meg's tackles. I want
all day.
Tackles, because they're not a good example of a tackle, definitely. Dougie is from Ireland. Big up to Dougie. Thank you for tuning in. Birmingham, Natty P. Birmingham in the house. Love that. South London, Ross. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Worcestershire. Thank you. Connor Roberts. Appreciate that. I love the variety that we get in the places. Like, it's class. I love it.
I'm glad you read that one out.
Pogba penalty. Reaction was funny. Yeah, I remember doing that, actually. I'm thinking, how does he stay so composed? Imagine 80,000 fans watching you do that slow run up. I don't know. And the same for the Bruno jump. It took me a few attempts to actually get the timing right. I looked like I was trying to do a hop, skip, and a jump. I was just going to the Olympics. Where's the sandpit? But yeah, I got there in the end anyway. I managed to do one. But AC Milan, Meg. Rumours are Martial, Cavani, Donny, maybe even Pogba could be fit for that game. I mean, that should be a big confidence boost, shouldn't it, for Ollie and obviously for the team going into that. And obviously our away form as well.
Yeah, I mean, those players coming back, like we said, the whole squad should be lifted from that, because when you've got players like that coming back in, you can rotate your bench as well. We've been saying a couple of times when we played Man City the other day that the difference is when you look at your starting 11, and we've got some talented footballers in our starting 11, but then when you look at our bench and what we can bring on to perhaps change a game, or if we need to...
That goal, sorry, I forgot about that. That goal, I think I've watched it probably about 30 times. But the precision on that, the audacity, I mean, he came on, he kicked a few players, and I'm thinking, he's come on fired up, and then he does that, and I'm thinking the audacity to try that. Sorry to interrupt you, Meg, but...
No, carry on, because that goal we can talk about as well.
I'm so happy he got sent off, by the way, because I hate Lamella, but I had to appreciate the goal, stunning. That's one that we got to replicate.
Do you know that goal as well? I was saying to Josh about this, because you get some goals that were so good, but your team were losing, so you can't celebrate them. Really, do you know what I mean? If it was Arsenal were 2-0 up and then Lamella pulls that out of the bag, you don't celebrate it, because it was the first goal. You get to celebrate a goal like that.
I think I would still celebrate that. I think I just personal glory and all that. It was just mad. I don't know. It's crazy. They even attempted that from there. That was the only way you could have scored from that position, because the way the defenders were. It was quality. And thank you to Ravi saying, like my jacket. Appreciate that. Thank you. Reguilon's reaction was class to Lamella's goal. Yes, I mean everyone was just in shock. I think that one, he'd even tried it, and two, that it gone in, and it went in so perfectly as well. Pogba, Cavani, Van der Beek, De Gea, Martial. Oh yeah, I didn't mention De Gea as well. Back. What's your thoughts on Henderson? Do you think Henderson should stay in at the minute? Do you think he's earned his right to stay?
The game against AC Milan, I think he definitely should have done better with the goal. But then keeping another clean sheet last night, you kind of got to give players a run if they're doing well. I also think this about Bailly as well sometimes, that, you know, he plays well and then he just gets dropped.
Yeah.
But then we're talking about rotating the team. I don't know what he'll do, depending if De Gea is back, definitely on that.
Yeah, this made me laugh. I haven't seen this, but it tickled me when you just said it. Have you seen the Domino's tweet about Lamela? The fact that he delivers them, then leaves. Made me giggle. That is funny. I didn't see it. I love that they're trolling him as well. That's funny though. Is Lindelof pulling his weight, says Dougie? I thought Lindelof played well yesterday. I thought at times, like Antonio did try and give him the run, and his pace was good. And like I said, I don't think the defence was tested half as much as what they should be, but he did his job yesterday, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that West Ham came out the second half a bit better in terms of that. She came out to attack a couple of times, but across the whole back, I think the back line, I just think they did really well yesterday. They kept position really well. They were pretty solid, and I think at times they pushed up at the right time. Like Maguire and Lindelof played quite high at times, but they did it effectively, so they didn't get caught out.
Yeah, De Gea is still quarantining, of course he is, so that's why we didn't mention him. But do you know, we've mentioned about the clean sheets from the last few games. Do you think it's a coincidence that it's been when Henderson's been in goal? Or do you think it is the fact that he's maybe a bit more commanding? Because I do say it starts from the goalkeeper. And we obviously both like De Gea, so I'm not sitting here and saying, no, he should be dropped or anything like that. But I'm just questioning, I mean, as a centre-back, would you say that Henderson has given him a bit more confidence?
Yeah, I think you have got a commanding goalkeeper. I think also he takes a lot of the responsibility on to be more commanding as well. As a centre back, if you've got someone behind you that is talking to you constantly, not telling you where to be, but kind of know where they are, it does give you confidence to feel like you can play without looking behind you constantly. So I wouldn't personally mind if he stayed in goal, just because of the way that he has been playing at the moment. But I also would understand if they swapped it again. Yeah. Either or. It's not like I'm sitting there and thinking one has got to play.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good situation to be in. We've got two very good goalkeepers competing. Obviously, De Gea isn't going to be back, so it will be Henderson who starts. But I think he's more than earned that chance to start again. I think he's doing really well. Curly said there he's very vocal. You heard him a few times, I think he's shouting to Maguire, and yesterday he is a very vocal goalkeeper. There's also, I think it was quite early on in the game when the ball's come in and he's committed and being commanding and punched it out as well. Whereas I don't think De Gea is that commanding from crosses, if I'm honest. I think that's one of his weaknesses. He's not very commanding when he's coming out to punch a ball. And so that's why I feel like Henderson's got the edge in that sense. But obviously, I think in terms of distribution, that he still needs to get better. But Henderson is improving game by game, in my opinion, and I think that'll come with confidence and experience for him. But it also seems that our back four is improving as well, and I think that Henderson deserves a bit of credit for that as well. As you said there, Dave is a world-class shot stopper. Dino is a box commander and a sweeper. Yep, I'd agree with that. Ryan said De Gea will start. He won't. Unfortunately, he's still quarantining, and so he won't be. But it would be interesting to see what would have happened if he was fit, though.
Do you think Ollie will start Mabai or Magaluf?
Magaluf. I think it'll be Lindelof and Maguire. I think he'll go with the same back four. What do you think, Meg?
I think he'll go with Bailly because I think he'll keep Lindelof for Leicester. Because I think Bailly will play one of the next two games. So if he doesn't play Thursday, I think he will play then on against Leicester. But I do think that we'll see Bailly this week. Yeah,
I'd like to see Bailly, to be fair. But we all know that Ollie's most trusted is Lindelof and Maguire. But it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I do think you're right. I think if one does play Thursday, the other one will play at the weekend or vice versa. I think that he will rotate because it's a lot of games to play in a short space of time. But Meg, I'm going to ask you in a minute after to give a little prediction for the AC Milan game. And guys, get in the chat and let us know your predictions as well. I think it's going to be a really tight game, but I am looking forward to it. And it's not very often I sit and say, oh, Europa League, get in. But the fact that we're playing AC Milan, I think it's obviously a big fixture. And you have to be.
You wouldn't be surprised if that was in the Champions League, that fixture, Manchester United and AC Milan. But I think it kind of tells where we're both in the Europa League.
Yeah. And obviously, if Zlatan is back for AC Milan, I think Boye would be the better competitor for him as well. It'd be funny to see that as well. I always think of that clip where they're both stood on the side with the crutches and they're celebrating in the Europa League. Jose era. So, yeah, it'd be quite funny to see them two against each other. But I think it's going to be, I agree with Curlers there, I think it's going to be very nervy. I don't think 2-1 is a bad prediction to make as well, if I'm honest. James has gone with the same 2-1 to United. What are you thinking? How are you feeling, Meg, honestly? After watching the first leg, knowing the players that we've got coming back as well, but also bearing in mind that obviously Zlatan is going to be available for AC Milan, I think that does change the dynamic a little bit. Personally, I think we'll just edge it. But I do think there's going to be goals either way.
I mean, a lot of 2-1s. Ian's gone for a 4-0 confidence.
I would love that.
Daniel's gone for 2-0. I'm going to presume to Man United. Although, obviously, that states it would be Milan to United 0. 2-1 to United. It's such a big game, isn't it? Like I said, we've got to go out there and score. So, I mean...
Imagine the scenes if that's it.
I'm going to go and say, I think it'll be a 3-1. I'm confident, but I also think we will concede, and I think it'll probably be 2 later on goals.
I think Tristan said a very tight 4-0 win as well. I hope you're right. It's just like us, Ollie, to pull out the ridiculous result, 4-0. As well. You said 3-1. I think 3-2. I think I'm going to go with 3-2. I think both teams will score. I think we'll probably go up to 3-1, and I think they'll get one back later on and make it a nervy end to the game. But I feel like it'll be 3-2. I think we'll win.
It's just I mean, obviously predicting, but always wait for that, the lineup to be announced, because that can just. I mean, we've seen some ridiculous lineups at times, not just from Manchester United, but from other teams as well, where you think, what we're playing here. Yeah. I hope that we don't revert to a 5. I hope that we just stick with the same formation that we have been playing. It's not the time to start messing about with formations. But yeah, just a big game.
I agree. Ross said nobody expected us to beat Sociedad 4-0. We are a good team. We can do it to Milan. Exactly. And that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Hate to be on your bad side, so but 3-2 might also will explode. Well, obviously we don't want that to happen. But it would be nice. A win. I'll just take us win and going through. I'll take that. But I do think it's going to be a tight game. I'm looking forward to it though. I'll be nervous nearer the time, definitely. But right now, looking forward to it. Guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry, it's just a shorter one today. I'm absolutely shattered from work, if I'm totally honest with you. And my poor dog has had 2 operations today, so I want to go and care for her. She's fine, but she's just a bit dopey, bless her. So yeah, I want to go and spend some time with her. So sorry it's a short one, but obviously, guys, as always in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, please hit that sub button. Hairdryer treatment is nearly on 15k, almost there. So please do hit that sub button, hit a like on the video if you enjoyed it as well. And of course, Meg, shout out your socials and let people know where they can come and find you.
I'm going to answer this question. It's 2018, as in the year 2018. Soph actually bought me that shirt as a wedding gift, and that's the year that we got married. So yeah, that's why it's 2018. So when we sang together, it makes the year that we got married. I'm at Megan Can with an underscore, and yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for joining us in the chat. If you're new, you can subscribe and press the little alarm button, bell item that's somewhere on one of the screens at the bottom. And you can like the video or share it with your friends. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Meg, for taking the time to come on again. Of course, me and Meg will be back after the game on Thursday, hopefully celebrating a nice 4-0 win against AC Milan. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it, Meg? But yeah, we will be back around that game and obviously giving you a video. But guys, until then, keep positive, keep smiling, and we'll see you soon.